Are you ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Tool to Play presents Still Got Game with Derek D. Smooth Nolan and Joel Dude I Rock Albert.
This episode of Still Got Game is brought to you by ThinkGeek and the Craft Beer Club. Hey now! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Still Got Game, episode 316. Still Got Game's official podcast of ToolToPlay.com. I am, as always, Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
And I'm Joel Dude I Rock Albert.
What is going on, Joel Dude I Rock Albert, my friend?
Not much. It's been a pretty simple week for me. It's beautiful in Chicago, so I can't really complain at all. I've had a relaxing week. Work has been normal. Everything else is good. How about you? You have had a better week, I feel.
Yes,
Because
I was on vacation for a week, then I took a day off this week to have another mini vacation up in on a lake in New Hampshire, so it was good. I rode when I was down in North Carolina, I rode the world's new tallest, fastest Giga Coaster, which is down there. It is taller than all of the Giga Coasters at Cedar Point, so good times. Fury 325, highly recommend it down at Carowinds.
Interesting. I know that you're like a aficionado when it comes to that kind of stuff. So I don't even know what a giga any of that stuff is. Is that just the rating of it? Or is it like...
That's the size thing. So they're normal roller coasters that do stuff. Those are that are super tall. That's in the Giga Coaster range. Then there's like those three coasters that exist, like Top Thrill Dragster, the one in Six Flags in New Jersey, that aren't really roller coasters. They just exist to go up really high and come right back down. Those go higher than Giga Coasters. Those have some other name, but they're not really a roller coaster. The whole ride on those lasts maybe 15, 20 seconds. It's just to get you up high.
It's the drop, right?
Yeah, this is a full-blown roller coaster, the tallest and fastest in the world right now, 325 feet, and it's a full-length roller coaster that lasts 3.5 minutes. So we got to the park. We bought our super special, secret, ultimate decoder ring, skip the line things, and got to ride it twice even before the park opened, back to back. Didn't even have to get out of our seatbelts.
That's
you want to go
cool,
again?
Man.
Like, we'll go again. And then we rode it there. We rode tons of coasters all day. And then the very last ride of the night in the pitch black was that same coaster again. And it's
well, they do it in the pitch black, like they turn the lights off, or
no, like at night.
Nighttime.
So now you're like 10 o'clock at night, and we're doing our last ride. And so there's some neon on the sides of the ride, but for the most part, you're in the dark, and it's
pretty cool.
It's a good time, yeah. So we had a blast.
Right on, right on.
But back from vacation, back to work this week. Did 2 days of work, and then I had to go, take a 1 day vacation to ease back into work. So I was up at Lake Winnipesaukee in New Hampshire yesterday. Saw my good buddy, Mr. GBMS. We went to Fun Spot, all the usual things you do when you're up in New Hampshire. But
Sweet.
Yeah, now we're back for a show.
We're back for a show. Let's do this.
All right, let's hop into feedback from last week's show, which was now 3 weeks ago. Donna comments, "You guys are killing me. I've missed your show so much. When will you return to your normal weekly schedule?" Hopefully soon. Hit came up with some bullshit excuse earlier today. He's like, "Oh, the next 2 weeks are in jeopardy," but we'll fix that. We'll strong arm him into fixing the show. Make sure we go on without a hitch. But yeah, we got to get back in the swing of things here, I think.
Yeah, I've been a little lazy.
Yeah,
but we did have our thick and thin last week, which people really did enjoy.
Yeah, Jay and LB and Hit did a episode of Thick and Thin last week. So, if you really were looking for something that could have satiated your need for content.
Yeah, go over to the Tool to Play homepage. Check it out. It's right there, right meow, if you want to check it out.
Yeah, that'd be a way to know if it's something you're interested in watching in the future. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a different style show. It's
just a train.
show.
It's a train of thought roundtable show. Yes, exactly.
And Jay does his best to keep everybody in line and control the minions.
Tough.
Yes.
It's tough show.
All right. But yeah, we'll try, Donna. We'll do our best. We know you're one of our biggest fans, and we'll try to bring that your way. Next, Slicky comments. "I was at a party last week, and your show came on mid-party? I was at a party last week, and your show came on mid-party due to the random shuffling of music. At first, I was all confused and like, WTF, but then was digging on it. During that time, someone found my boy Steve and had him fix it, but that took a good 10 minutes. I'm not sure who else found their new show at that party, but I subscribed on iTunes as soon as I got home." Slicky.
Who listens to podcasts on a party?
See, I'm from what he's saying, I think that the music was on shuffle, and then it shuffled after a song, and our show came on.
Weird.
Which is because that's because he first I was confused. Yeah, so someone found his boy Steve. I'm assuming his boy Steve is the one who's partying.
You like listen? Yeah, right.
And they're like, Steve, there's some stupid show playing.
Steve, what the fuck is happening right now?
But this guy
still in
Slicky
the
was
party.
all like, this guy Slicky was like, whoa, Steve, why don't we leave this on a little bit longer, okay? I like this. But yeah, I can't imagine it being on at that party. But thanks, Slicky, and we're glad you are a new subscriber. And we also do the video version, in case you didn't know, twitch.tv/dueltoplay.
Come hang out.
Find us on YouTube. All right, and last but not least, Attack of My Mom comments. Love your show. Absolutely love it. Cried laughing in my car more than once. Keep on keeping on. All right, all positive comments, really sentence fragments, no full sentences there. It was a little weird to read, but all positive. So thank you, Attack of My Mom.
As always. And
Yes.
your name is amazing.
Yeah, that is a pretty pro name, by the way.
It's an amazing name.
Well, excellent. Well, thank you all for the feedback. And if any of you have feedback, you can always give us a call, 773-527-2961, or email us at podcast@toolsplay.com. And in site-related news, you got anything, Jay?
Yeah, so a couple changes. Went through last week. We actually took down the tournament stuff from Tool to Play, the new version. I just don't think it's going to be something that we use in the future. So it's not that it's gone. We didn't delete anything. It exists, but it's been taken away. But if you look now, we have a games section, and this will be, I've been sort of talking about this earlier, but the goal with the new version of Tool to Play is really to create a connection between the people that come to the site and the people that want to find ways to game with those people. So if you look now, there's a new section called Games. What that actually does is connects to the Giant Bomb API and goes through all of the video games that have ever been released in the last year for all the major consoles and whatnot. If the game isn't on there, we'll have a way to add it to our database. But that is going to be the beginning of sort of all of the content and ways that we talk and do stuff on Tool to Play to connect it to the game itself. So if you go there now and you type in Destiny as a search, the game comes up. Right now, it's just going to tell you about the game and all the other things that come from Giant Bomb. But the point will be to say, I play Destiny and I'm interested in Destiny. So anytime we have stories about Destiny, we'll tag it. Anytime there's a forum post about Destiny, the members will tag it. And then we're going to eventually have a looking for group section where you can use that sort of model of I play Destiny to find other people that play Destiny as well. And, say, hey, tonight we're doing a Nightfall, come play Destiny with me. So that's the beginning of that for the new version of Tool to Play. Hopefully you'll see more of it in the future. But those are a couple of the changes that we're doing. And so we're iterating quickly. We're changing things whenever we think they suck and trying to get more people to come back and visit the site and be a part of it. So, yep.
Very, very cool.
Check it out.
Very cool. All right, Jay. Well, on that one, we slam on over into what we're playing. Joel, Dude, I Rock Albert, what are you playing this week?
This week I've been playing a lot of Destiny.
Wow.
Yeah. So because, I am, like I said before, I'm totally interested in the Taken King. I think all of the changes they're making are headed in the right direction. And of course, if I want to be up to par when the new one comes out, I've got to make sure I get my light level up. I believe they did announce that you will start at whatever your light level is when the new game comes out. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work, but I do know that the higher light level you're going to be, the higher level you're going to be. So I'm just going to try to get to my 34 and then stop there. So I've just been doing that back and forth.
And how many tunes you doing that on?
One.
Oh, one. Wow.
Don't like the game enough to level 2 tunes. And the other reason would be because the leveling is supposedly going to be a lot easier when the next one comes out. I don't see the point in leveling 2 tunes before. So I'm just going to get my 1 tune up. I don't have a lot of time to play, so it's just getting him to 34, and then I'll worry about other tunes later.
Nice.
So yeah. What about you? I'm sure.
I was on vacation, so the only thing I did,
right.
I brought the games case with me. I dropped in a little bit of Destiny just to do the bare minimum for the week, and that's about it. But next week, back to normal with full bore Destiny. Still got some shit to wrap up here before the expansion comes out. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's coming soon, so it's like that's my thing. Is I've just been trying to hunker down and get some of it done. I do not like any of the PvE stuff, which makes it hard to actually get the highest light level. But I've got my brother playing my character for me. So
oh, nice. That's almost legit. The same last name.
Counts. He's on my family plans. It doesn't matter.
This is true.
Yeah.
All right. Well, normally we jump into new releases here, but there are no new releases out this week. And we have this a lot. So just a question for the audience out there. You guys can let us know your opinions. I usually try to cover major releases here, not shitty downloadable XBLA games and not these mid-tier indie games. But if that's something you guys would rather us cover, if there's nothing, like we would never add them on a normal week when there's like 5 blockbusters or 3 blockbusters. But on a week where there's nothing, if you want us to cover an indie game or whatever the shitty download is for the week, let us know and we'll consider adding that. So that's 773-527-2961 podcast@toolplay.com. Let us know your opinions on that. But otherwise, you get weeks like this where you get the show a little shorter because there's no new releases. So it's all how you look at it.
Yep.
All right, Jay. Well, on that, why don't we slam on over into gaming news? First story.
All right. So the ESL is going to ban the same drugs as the Olympics, and this is via joystick. So you can't get high anymore when you're trying to play Counter-Strike, at least not in the Electronic Sports League. The fledgling, I don't know, is it actually fledgling? I feel like it's doing better now.
Yeah,
is it actually fledgling?
They're still the newest, so I guess that would still make them the fledgling. But
true, yeah. The fledgling Pro Gaming League announced on Reddit Wednesday that it will be adopting the World Anti-Doping Agency's list of banned substances for all of its players. The league had announced it would ban performance-enhancing drugs, which we've actually talked about on the show before, for competitions after a team revealed that its members had consumed Adderall prior to the match in March to enhance their ability to focus, which is really interesting. Quote, our main goal is and always will be to maintain a fair play spirit and the integrity of our competitions. An ESL rep wrote on Reddit in a Reddit post, quote, and we're confident that the anti-doping policy is an important improvement that will help us advance as a sport. Decent idea, I think. The banned list includes everything from anabolic steroids, which would be amazing if they were doing those, because you need a really good grip on your controller, and HGH, the human growth hormone, which would be interesting as well, cocaine, which I think would help, as well as cannabis, which I don't know.
It should be a detractor, really.
It's a detractor, yeah. I mean, you might think you're focusing, but I think at the end of the day, you're probably getting your ass kicked, right?
Yeah.
There are different levels, of course, of enforcement. So weed, for example, cannot be consumed, quote, from the start of the first day until the end of the last day of the competition, which basically means they can smoke weed all they want, just not for the actual games, which is, I guess, interesting in and of itself. But it is, of course, acceptable when you're not competing. While, of course, coke, steroids, and focus enhancers like Adderall are banned at all times, which does make sense. Exceptions will be made if competitors have a valid prescription, which is funny because we talked about this on the show as well.
This is exactly what we were talking about.
So, like, now are these people going to try to get valid prescriptions? It's pretty easy to get Adderall these days. So I'm wondering if that will create a shift. The league will randomly test competitors, and the penalties for rolling dirty range from fines to the maximum of a 2-year ban from the league, which pretty much puts you out in my mind, because 2 years in the game of world is a pretty long period of time. So what do you think overall?
This reflects on a lot of what we discussed, because it was actually in our last episode. I know it was 3 weeks ago, but that's when the first news came out about those guys with the Adderall. And this is exactly what we said. We were like, well, what happens if you have a prescription for it? So you bring up an interesting point where now everybody can go in and then get their own prescription for Adderall. And I guess it's probably easier for the younger players to do than the older players. It's much harder for like a 20-something to go in and be like, oh, yeah, I need Adderall. I have focus issues. And focus on what? Just go to work and do your thing. Well, I don't really work. I'm a pro gamer and I have trouble focusing and I need Adderall. Like,
I mean, I still feel like you're definitely right. Like a 17-year-old kid, I feel like half the 17-year-old kids I meet nowadays are already on Adderall. So maybe it's not a big problem.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think overall, at least in the US, the way doctors are here, they're ready to prescribe you whatever the fuck you want. It's ridiculous. Like the system is broken in that way. So it may be that this becomes sort of a requirement. I hate saying that because I don't want to have anyone ever go out and get drugs because they feel like they have to perform. But whenever, we've said this a million times when it comes to video games and not just drugs, whenever a perceived performance increase is there, you will go for it. And this happens in all competitive sports and all mannerisms. It's why we see steroids in baseball and why we see steroids in football and every other sport. If you feel like you can have an advantage over your competitor and money is on the line, you're probably going to do it. So,
well, people have done a lot weirder shit. Like
a lot weirder
all these things where like they used to take their blood and have it pulled out and
the
oxygenate it and
bicyclists
put
are
it
the
back
craziest
in.
motherfuckers in the world.
That shit's fucked up.
That shit's insane. And they'll do it because they want to win. And it's the same it's no different in electronic sports. It's the same thing. If there's a perceived value to something that's going to give you an edge, you're going to go for it. So it will be interesting. It's a good idea to put these rules in place because it at least isolates them from any sort of wrongdoing. And they're not okaying any drugs by any means. They're saying,
they're kind of okaying weed. They're like,
well, they're okaying in the sense that you
smoke your
could do it
bong
when
all you want, bro,
Yeah.
but just not during the tournament days. Like,
Yeah.
as soon as you're done, go rip a celebratory tube and call it a day. And
Right.
And on your way here, hey, maybe even smoke one in the car.
But again, it's for the tournament. It's distancing themselves from the drug, which is fun. I think fine.
Well, because it's not legal in all states yet. So you
right.
kind of have to with that.
You have to do that no matter what. But yeah, I mean, I think, and I don't know if this is going to be true, but I do think you're going to see a lot more people with new prescriptions when it comes to these games. Because now that the cat is out of the bag, so to speak, and everyone's saying like, yeah, the top tier players are all on Adderall. I think you're going to see other kids get on Adderall. Just even if they don't need it, I think they're going to do it. So
it would be an interesting thing if a news outlet contacted the ESL and asked for right now for them to take a poll of their players, what percentage is on Adderall.
Would love to know.
And then do the same thing in 3 months or 6 months and see who has legit prescriptions for Adderall.
Yeah.
Would love I'll bet you it doubles or triples in that time.
I think so. I mean, I really do.
Like maybe some people didn't realize it was an advantage.
Right. That's the thing is I think the news of the fact that the top tier players were all on it.
Yeah, it's
that
like,
is already
wait a second,
like,
I didn't even
cat's
know
out of the bag. Yeah, like it's already over. So like the ban and shit now it doesn't matter. Like everyone now knows that there's this perceived value to taking Adderall. So I don't know. We'll see.
See what happens. Yeah. All right. Next story.
All right. Next story. And this one is an oldie, but it never stops. The 38 Studios lawsuit has finally reached partial settlement. And this is via Gamasutra. So the ongoing ever ending lawsuit regarding the accusation that Curt Schilling and his business partners lied about 38 Studios' financial prospects has finally reached a partial settlement of $12.5 million with the state of Rhode Island. As you probably know, and if you don't, the story is way too large for me to explain to you. Former Red Sox pitcher Curt Schilling created 38 Studios, which went on to make the RPG Kingdoms of Amalur, The Reckoning, but the studio's primary mission was always to make and develop and launch the expensive codenamed MMO Project Copernicus, which of course never saw the light of day. It was dissolved. Well, I don't even think they got very far in its actual development. I think they were like midway through, I believe, when it finally crashed and burned. Yep. Have we ever seen any? We saw concept stuff. Did they ever like release any gameplay? I don't think so.
It was no game because that was the Big Huge Games portion of their act. They acquired Big Huge Games that had a giant MMO in the works, and they were like, all right, whatever assets you have, fuck that. We're gonna take our Kingdoms of Amalur shit, and that's gonna be the graphics and the story and everything that comes into there. Yep.
Yeah. So of course the lawsuit claims that Schilling, several banks, and former Rhode Island Commerce Corporation officials lied about 38 Studios' financial prospects to secure the $75 million in loans from the state. Shit ton of money, by the way. So this particular settlement will come from a former RICC executive director, a former RICC deputy. Is that a double? Is that
no, executive director, deputy director, and the agency's former outside counsel, who have agreed to pay the $12.5 million for its role in the alleged deception, the Boston Globe reports. All this leaves Schilling himself, along with the other 38 Studios executives and several financial companies, faced with the potential to have to pay a further $72 million. It's fucking rough, dude. I know.
So what are your thoughts? I mean, I never thought that there was complete deception. I'm wondering if I don't know about.
I still don't think there was deception. I think that at the time, when you're working on something and you think it's going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread, that's what you tell them. You're like,
passion is what screwed them.
You're like, we have this fucking game. It's amazing. Yeah. I play World of Warcraft. Our MMO is going to be like that, but it's going to be better. It's going to be $1 million. We already have EA as our publisher. It's going to be amazing. And then remember, I met with them at E3 when I had lunch with them that time in 2010. That was 2010. And then the next year we went and we got to see the actual game in 2011. We saw it at E3. We bought copies. We loved the game. And the problem was Rhode Island made it too easy for them to take the money. We said this a million times.
Yep.
They were just like, we want that money was supposed to be earmarked for like a whole bunch of companies to develop Rhode Island. And then Rhode Island was like, hey, we can do this all in one fell swoop. We don't have to worry about checking out different companies. It's Curt Schilling. He's, Boston pitching superstar, won the World Series. Let's get it to him. His company is solid. Oh, he says he's excited about it. They're going to kick ass. It's going to be awesome. And poor Curt.
I mean, the only thing I would say is that their projections for the sales of Amalar were retarded. I mean, they were so... I believe they thought they were going to sell like more than 1 million copies, which everyone should know on the RPG level, especially a new IP, that was never going to be possible. So whether or not that's the deception, that they overthought or overshot what they thought the potential earnings were, I think they were blinded by their own passion. I think they truly believed that they were going to actually sell millions of copies.
Yeah, I honestly think that too.
Yeah. But I do think they should have also known better. I mean, everyone should have been telling them the way the market's been, there's no fucking way this game's going to sell like that. It's just not possible. But, it is what it is. I would hate that he would have to pay that amount of money. Kurt's actually a good guy.
Yeah, he already had to. I remember we read the story where he basically, I forgot what the quote was, but it was like basically all of his baseball money was gone.
Right, yes.
From all his legal things and everything.
Right.
Remember they had that big, we talked the story one time where they were like liquidating all the shit in his house and you could buy like Curt Schilling's
memorabilia,
hair dryers, no matter what, they sold everything out of his house. So all of his baseball money is gone. All he has now, I say all, but it's still probably a ton of money, is his things for doing like his ESPN job and all that stuff. Yeah. But yeah, that's insane to think how long that guy played baseball, the level at which he played and the salaries he commanded, and then to have that all gone because he tried to make a cool video game is fucked up.
It's a little sad. Yeah. It's a little sad. And like you, I put a lot of onus on the state themselves for thinking that this was a good thing. Obviously they took the money and they are, at the end of the day, fiscally responsible for that money. But I do think both parties are to blame, and it's a little sad overall.
Yeah, if I was giving someone $75 million, I would do some due diligence.
Exactly. You would know what the market commands for a game that they were creating. You wouldn't just blindly hand it over. So, Yep. All right. So big bummer there. On some lighter news, The Taken King changes Destiny's economy. I think for the better as well. Mm-hmm. Again, one of the perks of reasons I'm coming back. So Destiny: The Taken King will bring some much requested changes to the game's economy. This includes tweaks to the currency and materials, as well as changes to the tower's vendors. So according to Game Informer, developer Bungie is implementing many features that will finally streamline upgrading and buying gear. For example, all of those materials and currencies in the game are being compressed into only a couple. So if you've played Destiny before and you've all noticed that there's like 1 billion different weapon and armor upgrade materials, which I personally think sucks, they've basically taken all of them and condensed them down to one item called armor materials, literally as generic of a name as you could possibly think.
Perfect.
Yeah, right. It tells you exactly what they're for, right? It's good. So as such, you won't have a ton of unusable materials filling up your inventory that is compatible only with different types of characters. So it's kind of nice. So any materials that you get can be used with any character that you have, and vice versa. So if you already have stacks of your spin metal and your helium filaments and all that other bullshit, you'll actually be able to go and exchange them for these armor materials when the expansion launches. So if you want to get ahead of the curve on your materials, you can stockpile that shit and then turn it in once the game goes live, if you want to do that. In addition, playing competitive multiplayer and cooperative modes will no longer give you different currencies either. So Vanguard and Crucible marks have also been consolidated into a legendary mark, which still will go towards the purchase of legendary armor, which again is awesome. I hate having to do the PvE if I don't want to do it. That's one of the things I hate, unless it's a raid. So Bungie is also bringing some changes to the vendors in the tower's social space. The studio has already discussed the changes coming to the gunsmith, where you'll actually be able to try out weapons. That's awesome. And buy legendaries from him. But there will also be kiosks that will allow you, or that will let you organize your shaders and emblems. Xur, the weekend vendor of exotic weapons and armor, will carry a new item called, and this is awesome because they stole it direct from World of Warcraft, 3 of Coins. This consumable will increase your chances of getting exotic gear drops when you kill an ex-boss.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, Blizzard and World of Warcraft, for continually telling Bungie how to make a proper MMO. The Taken King launches September 15th and includes a whole bunch of new other changes in addition to the ones detailed here. For example, Nolan North will now voice the Ghost companion instead of Mr. Dinklage. The developer is reorganizing quests and bounties, which is good, and there will be a new leveling system for the game. So, what are your thoughts?
Everything is awesome.
Everything is awesome. Yeah. There's nothing bad so far that I've seen. And that's coming from someone that was mildly disappointed with Destiny after the launch. So
and you admitted that we said all along that each time there's been an expansion to Destiny, they have listened to players and they have done exactly what the majority of people want. And that's what they've been doing all along. It's just one step at a time. And this is the next iteration of that. They literally now have changed the underlying way the game works entirely 3 times now. It's crazy. No other game has done.
And it's well, I mean, that's not necessarily true. But I mean,
in a year?
In a year's time, yeah. I think the biggest thing is the speed at which they've been willing to correct some wrongs. Sometimes to the fact where they create more wrongs than they do rights. Yep. But that's what's great, is the iteration happens so quickly that they generally will figure out that it does suck. And they'll do either a revert or they'll change another dynamic of the game to sort of smooth out another piece. And they've been really quick, and it's kind of amazing, really, at the speed at which they're developing.
Yeah, it's like imagine some of the low levels at which some of these changes happen. Like this change to the light levels thing, we all hated that from the beginning, and they didn't understand why. Because leveling in a game should never have to do with the extra content that you play.
Exactly.
You want to do raids, you want to do something else. Give you better, different armor.
Gear is what you do. Yeah.
Gear. It's not your level should never be impacted by your inability to form up with a group and play the game.
Right.
You should be able to go 1 to max solo or with your pals.
Yep.
And I'm just a huge fan of everything that's coming here. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean the whole thing. And again, I love to toot the Warcraft horn, but I mean they are really finally following all this patterns. Like they're doing the leveling correctly. What they call, and it's called 3 coins here in Warcraft. It's just called. I think it's coin or just the gold coin or something. But it's the same idea on a boss. If you want an extra chance at loot, you roll the coin, you flip the coin literally, and you have a chance to get loot. They're taking that idea. This is what I want to see more of from them. I want them to look outside of the Bungie bubble that I think really held them back in the beginning, find out what these amazing MMOs have been doing for 10 plus years, and steal it. I mean,
that's all these other guys did.
That's all Blizzard does. Yes, exactly. Blizzard, the entire Warcraft scenario is not Blizzard's design. They just stole everything that was amazing about what other companies were doing and did it for themselves. And this is what I think they can genuinely be good at. So it's great to see them taking on these ideas and bringing them into a game, especially for a crowd that isn't used to MMOs. It's all new stuff to them. So it's good. Like right off the bat, you're doing the right thing. So loving seeing it. I actually cannot wait for the expansion. It's going to be pre-ordered. It's ready to go. I'll be playing it on the 15th. So, yeah, it's all good stuff. Good shit.
Awesome.
Good shit. All right, next story. This is an awesome story because it's so fucking bizarre and yet so amazing at the same time. So, secretly shot Fallout 4 video has found refuge on Pornhub, of all places. So, if you want to do a little spanky, as well as watching video game stuff, you can go to Pornhub and check it out. So, Bethesda's legal team is playing a game of DMC Whack-A-Mole all this week with people reposting a secretly shot Fallout 4 gameplay video during Gamescom last week. The video first surfaced on popular porn destination Pornhub. As of writing this, it remains active and available, which it probably at this point hopefully will be taken down. I don't know. While Bethesda has been unsuccessful in getting the video taken offline, other videos posted around the web and on YouTube have, of course, been successfully DMCA'd. Despite the best efforts of the thread on gaming forum Sugar Bombed to keep it up. So it keeps popping up everywhere, which is kind of funny. The video appears to be secretly shot in a closed-door meeting with Bethesda at Gamescom. Apparently, this footage was not supposed to be publicly shown, as most closed doors are not. If Bethesda's DMCA efforts are any indication, as of writing, the video is still available on Pornhub if you want to go over there. The clip is branded with the Chainsaw Gaming logo, a Dutch YouTube gaming outfit, but it is unclear if the attribution is real or simply a means for the video creator to false tag the group, which I think would be the case. I don't think you would want to just say, hey, it's me.
If we ever were at E3, in one of our closed door meetings, we're like, you cannot video this. And we secretly videoed it. The last thing we would do is put it up with the Tool to Play logo in the corner. Like,
Yeah.
it would be great
Seems pretty
advertising,
dumb.
but it kind of burns all your bridges.
All your bridges are kind of gone. Yeah. So I mean, what do you think of this? Is
This
an
is
interesting
so
way
fucking
to
creative.
get news out. Yeah.
Because YouTube, they're all over the DMCA stuff. Vimeo, they're all over the DMCA. All these guys are so paranoid about losing their business model that they bow to the DMCA all the time. Now, so these guys are like, well, Pornhub, they don't give a shit. Like, you go to Pornhub and there's like homemade amateur porn. There's fucking complete rips out of movies. Nobody cares. Like, it's a
It's the
wasteland.
Wild West. It's like the old YouTube,
Yeah.
but
So
with more dick.
yeah, exactly. So these guys are like, oh, let's fucking upload this gaming video there. No one's going to check it. And so that means there's not even anyone at fucking Pornhub that's like, is this video porn?
Right.
Like there's not
There's
even
like
that check.
the porn administrator, like there has to be at least one dick and one tit in each shot, or else we take it off.
Yeah.
Like-
So obviously they don't even care. Like you can, I guess apparently the moral of the story is you can now use Pornhub for all your
For whatever.
legitimate videos. Yeah. You have a video to put up? Yeah. Boom. Throw it up there. You probably have a chance to get residual views as long as you pick the right thumbnail.
Yeah, it's just like I like fighting games. As said in our chat, it's basically the new esports channel. That's where we go now for all of our esports need.
Yep.
We go to Pornhub,
Yeah. It's the best of both worlds.
get our
you know?
game on. It's where we're
Games?
going to do our Twitch show from this point forward, I think.
You got a game, you want to take a break, boom, there's some entertainment right there. Then you got to get back to a game. You want to watch some unreleased illegal footage, boom. It is.
Done.
Someone was super fucking creative.
Yeah, I mean it's probably the most interesting way to release leaked footage that I've seen thus far. So props to them on that. But you better hope you don't get caught, because then
Yes.
you're pretty much out of the games industry forever, because no one likes that shit.
Nope.
So Derek, what do you think about the story?
Jay, this story has me saying, what the fuck? And on that, why don't we hop on over to the mailbag and voicemails? Altius asks, with Windows 10 now available, have either of you upgraded? And if so, have you tried Xbox One's streaming feature?
I upgraded immediately.
I did
the
as
day it
well.
Came out.
I had to force my shit to get it right
Did the
away.
Force as well. And it's, I mean, for anyone that hasn't upgraded, and this is really directed just at Hit because he's such a pussy, it is an amazing OS. I've
Stunning.
had zero problems. I have done the streaming, although I don't need to because right here is my Xbox, so it's a little weird to stream 2 inches, but it's still cool. I tried it just to try it because I thought it was a cool
I did as well. I tried
Yeah.
it. And now, granted, the res goes down a little bit.
It
Resolution
does,
drops,
yes.
but on it, where I had like my Xboxes are all wired, my laptop was wired at the time that I tried it, and it may feel a teeny bit laggy.
I don't know if it's
but
in my head, but I agree.
Yeah,
I feel a little lag.
maybe doing some PvP on it, you would see a big problem. But I think if you were doing PvE content, I don't think you would have a major issue at all.
Agreed. Yeah. Like I would never want to do it in any competitive form, like you said, player versus player stuff. But yeah, I think it's fine for any other game that you're going to play. And it's probably fine for PvP too, but I like to pretend that there's any sort of difference in what I have versus what the other player has. Again, drugs, right? We've talked about this. Same thing. Perceived value there. I would never do that, but but it's
hey,
cool, man.
Your TV breaks, boom, you got a way to play it.
you're good to
anyway. You're good to go.
And even that, like, that is cool, but it is by far not the only awesome feature. I mean, check out Cortana. Just even the new start menu, the way they've handled everything, the way they do
everything's-
Windows tiles, it's the best OS. It is finally, I feel, I'm a heavy Mac user at work and everywhere else. All of my development happens on a Mac. It is the first OS where I feel like Windows is finally at that level that Mac has always been at. So it's an amazing OS. Totally love it. Huge fan.
fan. We're all upgraded here, and like I said, I keep learning new things. Like they're for the last couple months behind the scenes, Windows 8 fucked my webcam stuff. Every week when they did this show, my webcam was fucked. All of a sudden, I upgraded to Windows 10. Everything, it's like, oh, you got this Logitech camera. Everything's fine. Enjoy. Film away. So, you know, I have no issues with it. I love it. Highly recommend everybody going with it. And not everybody has an extra TV or whatever. So, you know what? That the streaming feature is good enough to use, I would say. Wired.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'd definitely be wired. But
Yeah, it would be wired. Yeah.
it's definitely good enough to use. So,
Totally.
all right. Well, awesome question as always, Altius. And if any of questions like that, give us a call, 773-527-2961, or email us at podcast@tooltoplay.com. You can also comment on this episode's thread on the Tool to Play homepage. And sponsors. Remember, by supporting our sponsors, you help to support Still Got Game. ThinkGeek. ThinkGeek is obsessed with creating and sharing unique and authentic product experiences that stimulate fans' imaginations and fuel their geek core. Since 1999, ThinkGeek has been on a mission to create a world where everyone can embrace their inner geek and connect with one another. What started as a place for clever t-shirts and unusual gifts is now the best way to find wondrous goods that express all of your passions, much of which you won't find anywhere else on Earth. Shop for apparel, functional, and fun and other home office decor, electronics and gadgets, outdoor and survival gear, collectibles, and much, much more. Find the perfect gift, whether your loved one is into science or science fiction. Get the things you need and the things you really need, or just prank your office mate. At ThinkGeek, there's always something on sale, and it's probably something you want. Go to tooltoplay.com/geek. That's tooltoplay.com/geek right now and see what fits your geek needs. If you spend over $75, your shipping is free. Once again, that's tooltoplay.com/geek. Geek. Also, Craft Beer Club. The Craft Beer Club discovers exceptional craft beers from around the country and delivers them each month direct to you or your gift recipient. Every selection is produced by small production independent brewers who use only traditional brewing ingredients and time-honored brewing methods. In addition to traditional bottled beers, they also embrace the hundreds of small craft brewers around the country that offer their handcrafted beers in cans. The Craft Beer Club offers subscriptions monthly, every other month, or quarterly. You can either subscribe yourself or give a gift subscription to someone else. Each shipment includes 12 12-ounce beers, 3 each of 4 varieties, and shipping is free. There's no membership fee, no obligation to continue, and you may cancel anytime for any reason. Go to tooltoplay.com/beer right now, and when you sign up, you can get a free craft beer bottle opener and a set of craft beer tasting glasses. Once again, that link is tooltoplay.com/beer. And if you'd like to sponsor us, 773-527-2961. Email us podcast@tooltoplay.com. Tell us what you want to sell. We'll tell you what you pass. We'll sell it. You pass. Boom. Done. Twitter us up. You can find everything Tooltoplay related at twitter.com/tooltoplay. Everything podcast related at twitter.com/still_got_game. I, king of the fucking internet, God of everything that's fucking holy, at twitter.com/Derek Nolan.
And you can find me at twitter.com/duderock.
Facebook the fuck out of us. Facebook.com/Tooltoplay. Facebook.com/Derek Nolan.
Facebook.com/duderock.
We have a YouTube channel. That's at youtube.com/Tooltoplay. That is the place to find all of Tooltoplay's archived video content, whether it's this show, Thick and Thin with LB and Duty, Hits Motherfucking, or any of our other video content. It will always be archived on our YouTube channel. So go there and subscribe. Costs you nothing. Boom. Do it up. Please rate and review this podcast on iTunes. We need some 5-star reviews. Definitely, the review is the most important part, getting the 5 stars. But if you are so inclined, you have an extra minute, just write something nice about us. And like I said, now that we're back in the fray here, starting next week, we're going to start picking out some of your comments and reading them on the show. So you be creative, be funny, be unique and unordinary. Just put something out there, and we'll bring it to the show, and we'll make you famous. Also, we have our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/tooltoplay. People here right now on Thursday night are watching this live long before you ever saw the show or listened to it, because they're here live. Our Twitch channel has all of our broadcasters broadcasting various games and our shows like this. So definitely go there. At least follow us on Twitch, but preferably there's a little subscribe button down one of these corners here. And that is the best way to funnel your money to us. If you really enjoy the content you're getting, it doesn't cost you a whole hell of a lot. Just go down there and subscribe. It's less than a tenth of a cup of coffee a day. So you look at it that way, no brainer, right? I guess last but not least, I want to remind you all, you can join us each and every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Pacific. Each and every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, twitch.tv/. What the fuck? Why are we falling apart at the end? Join us each and every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, twitch.tv/tooltoplay. And on that, why don't we wrap this episode up? I am Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
I am Joel Dude. I rock Albert.
2 sponsors this week, motherfuckers.